Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. It's all dog around this mug. I'm good.
Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, and yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. I really do appreciate your time. Shouts out to everybody that is tuned in right now. I really do appreciate it. I ask that you hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. I ask that you hit the like button if you're tuning into the State of the Saints podcast. This is a podcast that talks New Orleans Saints, and also want to give a special shout out to those over there on the Gumbo Pie Sports podcast as well, because we're going to be talking a little bit about the NFL Combine. So thought it would be great just to kind of coincide these channels just for this particular purpose. But if you have not already subscribed to the Gumbo Pie Sports podcast, you can also check out episodes of a few episodes of the State of the Saints podcast occasionally, but we also talk about some NFL teams and some NFL news over there as well. I'm not going to talk very long on this podcast because I am going to open up the phone lines because I'm pretty sure a lot of people have something to say about this subject that we're going to discuss. And the subject is quarterback Jayden Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback out of LSU. The New Orleans Saints, along with a few other teams like the Commanders, the New England Patriots, met with Jayden Daniels for a formal meeting. Now, some of you are probably wondering to yourself, what's formal and, what's the difference between formal and informal? Formal is when a team requests to meet with you exclusively. Like it's not like informal is more so like, you're just meeting them around the way, maybe pulling them off to the side. But a plan is in place to be able to talk to this person and really get in depth with some of the things that the team sees in the person or the player, or what they can do as far as maybe adding that player to their team. So having a formal interview is huge, and we all know that the New Orleans Saints, when it comes to the first round, they have the 14th pick in the draft. And, when you're thinking about Jayden Daniels, he's not going to last very long. I mean, according to some draft boards, he can go as early as the number 2 overall pick. And I don't need to tell anybody that follows the LSU Tigers how magical of a season Jayden Daniels had. I mean, he had 3,812 yards, 40 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, QBR of 95.6. And he completed about 72% of his passes. So that type of stat line is going to have you being drafted in the top 5. Now, it would be great to have Jayden Daniels as a member of the New Orleans Saints. I don't think I would be telling anybody anything they don't already know. But I just think that the Saints would have to move heaven and earth in order for them to acquire Jayden Daniels. And there's a lot of teams out there that need some really solid quarterback play. And Jayden Daniels' services are probably going to be needed very, very early if you look at the draft board. We all know about the Chicago Bears having the top pick in this year's draft. Of course, we know we're going to find out very soon what the status of quarterback Justin Fields is going to be. That's really close to home, and that's something that's extremely important for Saints fans to know, because the top team that everybody is looking at to acquire Justin Fields, if Chicago decides to trade him, is the Atlanta Falcons. And we all know how special Justin Fields is. So to put him in the Atlanta Falcon uniform, that will really change the game for the Falcons and their team. So we know that the Saints are in the same division as the Falcons. They are the Saints' rivals, so got to keep a close eye on that. But back to Jayden Daniels, I can see him going as early as 3. I don't think, to be quite honest with you, I can see the Patriots maybe grabbing him. I think that you can probably take a look at the Giants. I don't think that they're happy with Daniel Jones, the way that he played last year. Then you also have to think about the injuries that he sustained. It's been a good little minute, I should say, that, you had a large sample size of Daniel Jones. Will he get better? So there's a lot of teams that need good quarterback play and that are going to be looking at Jayden Daniels. And I'm pretty sure that he won't be there very, very long. And not to mention, the Atlanta Falcons have to pick before the New Orleans Saints. So if they don't trade with the Chicago Bears, they still can get a really good quarterback very, very early in this year's draft. So something to keep a close eye on. Does that mean that the New Orleans Saints are going to be aggressive? I don't think so. I don't think that the New Orleans Saints are going to be as aggressive as everybody thinks. I think that the New Orleans Saints will probably stay at 14 because there are some really good players that you can still get from that position. And we know that in order for you to move up into that top 10 spot, you have to be in love with a guy. You have to love him. Like, you have to look at this guy as a game changer, a franchise changer, a guy that can change the misfortunes of your team if you're having misfortunes, the player that can get you over that hump. That is what you have to be. That's what you have to be. And if the New Orleans Saints aren't willing to do that, then I don't see it happening. Now, if this wasn't one of those cases where I felt the New Orleans Saints weren't in love with Derek Carr, then I probably would say that we should be getting excited about this. But I don't see the Saints moving up to get Jayden Daniels. That would be huge if they did. And but I don't see that happening. I really don't. But I'm going to go ahead and open up the phone lines. I want to hear what you all have to say. What do you think about Jayden Daniels and the Saints meeting with him formally for an interview at the NFL Combine? We all know that the Saints have so many different needs offensively and defensively. On today, the defensive side of the football took to the podium. Every single day, there's different skill positions that meet with the media. There are certain times that they meet. Today was the defensive linemen and the linebackers. Dallas Turner, the star defensive lineman out of Alabama, he spoke with the media today. Jared Verse, the really hybrid defensive lineman out of Florida State, he spoke. I mean, several others. But those two guys are leading the charge. Those are going to be the two guys that teams are going to be looking at very, very early in this year's draft. And everybody knows how I feel about Jared Verse. I feel like he can be something that the Saints have been needing from the pass rush position for quite some time. So that goes right there. All right, so we got Jerry on the line. I don't know why am I hearing myself in the background.
Hey, what's up, TJ?
All right, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Hope all is well.
Yeah. Hey, what you got for us, man?
TJ, I'm gonna speak this and hello to all the Who That Nation. It's been a while. Hope all is well with y'all. Um, about this, TJ, I don't see the New Orleans Saints getting Jayden Daniels. I just don't see it because Who That Nation, we already know that we are drafting an offensive lineman in the 14th pick of the draft this year because, with the situation going on with Ramchek and Andrews Pete and Trevor Penny, we definitely need another O line in the worst way. That's our number one priority because I really don't see TJ us getting Jayden Daniels because somebody else might get Jayden Daniels before we do. So I'm just speaking my mind as a Saints fan. I'm just speaking my mind right there, TJ.
I'm sorry, Jerry. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, I apologize for that, man. I was having I didn't know where I had some background feed noise. I didn't know where the heck it was coming from. It was actually another link that was up, man. So I apologize for that, man. But yeah, go ahead and finish, man. You go ahead and finish your statement.
No, I was saying we're not getting Jayden Daniels because we still getting the offensive line because you know the situation with Penning and Ramchick and Pete. I just don't see the Saints getting Jayden Daniels because somebody else might get him before we do. So we just gonna stay with Jayden Daniels.
Yeah,
Not Jayden Daniels. We gonna stay
Derek
with
Carr. Derek Carr.
yeah. Yeah, we gonna stay with us getting the offensive line because we need it in the worst way, TJ.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think that at that particular point, if you're looking in the first round, looking at a quarterback, that would be more of a luxury thing if you were to draft him. I think you just have bigger fish to fry, and this is something that needs to be addressed, Jerry. I mean, for the last 2 seasons, the Saints have
Hmm.
been basically plugging and playing one of the most important positions on the field, and it's time to solidify
Right.
that. You know, it's pretty obvious that the Trevor Penning experience isn't working out. You know, like so
No, it's
let's try
not.
to find let's try to find a different role for him before he loses his confidence and maybe draft another guy that's a little bit more athletic, that's ready, maybe go through some growing pains because he's young, but for the most part be able to establish himself maybe 4 or 5 weeks into the season. You can see what makes him special
Hmm.
at that position. So I definitely feel like
Right.
the left tackle position should be a top priority for the New Orleans Saints.
Absolutely, I agree with you, TJ.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the only thing that I'm looking for in this year's draft, TJ, and I said in the chat, and shouts out to Ross Jackson of Locked On Saints. I mean, I put my list of people that we need in the draft this year. Of course, number one is offensive line. Number two is like a defensive lineman. But you know, we got like I think we got like about 5 picks. I think on a Saturday. I think it's round 5 or 6 or 7. I can't remember.
Yeah.
On those, I think we definitely need another linebacker. We
Yeah.
definitely need another. We definitely need another tight end, another defensive line, um, probably another edge rusher, and another cornerback.
Yeah.
That's
I
my
mean,
list right.
yeah, I mean, there's so many. Like, here's the thing. Like, we've had conversations about the Saints' needs over the years, and it always seems to be
Hmm.
like maybe one or two positions, Jerry. This is one of those drafts. No matter what the Saints do, like I think that we all can kind of be content with it. Like I don't think it's one of those years where the Saints need a cornerback and then all of a sudden they just pull out a defensive end from somewhere. Like if they were to pull out a defensive end, nobody would get mad at that. Offensive line wouldn't be mad at that. You know, safety wouldn't be mad at it.
Right.
So because there's so many different positions of need, and you also got to get a little bit younger on this team. Man, they one of the
Yes.
oldest teams in the league.
Right.
Yeah.
I got. I agree with you, TJ.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the NFL Combine? Like what are you going to be looking for? Like how do you approach the NFL Combine, Jerry? Do you just kind of watch it just as an onlooker, or do you really like put a lot of emphasis on some of the things that you're seeing from the 40s, from the bench press and from the vertical jumps? How do you approach it?
Man, whatever. Man, I just see like you just said, TJ. I just see what play I'm looking at. You
Right.
know, with the bench press. You know, the 40-yard dash and all that kind of stuff like that.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm just scouting out some people that we definitely need.
Right. Yeah. That's the way I look at it because I mean we see every single year that there's a guy who nobody ever heard of running a 4.240 or bench pressing 40 times 220 pounds, and we get so enamored with that, and we're like, man, the team need to draft him, but that doesn't always indicate success. And I just want some Saints fans to understand that. Like, if you can
Hmm.
combine like some of the measurables that you see from an athletic guy, and it also kind of coincides with what you saw on the field, and you know some of these big games that matter, then I feel like you can put some stock into that. But I'm mostly just looking for guys to, show some level of athleticism, but at the same time, be able to kind of solidify what we already know. Because I just think that the Saints may need to take a look at some of these power conference school players. These guys have shown you throughout the years that they're good. So no need to try to find somebody else that could possibly be good when somebody's right there in your face has proven that they are good. You got anything else, man?
Yeah, just one more thing, and I'm jet out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, we are not getting Jayden Daniels who that nation. We are not getting him. So get Jayden Daniels out your mind, getting drafted to the New Orleans Saints because it's not going to happen. So I'm just telling you for myself.
Yeah, I mean it'll be
Because I cause,
insane if
because
they
I
do it.
know because
Insane.
I know yeah, because I know Saints fans gonna be out of their mind like, oh, we get Jay Daniels. No, we're not. So calm yourself. Calm yourself.
Yeah, you got a
We
lot of
getting the
excitement on
offensive
social media.
lineman, not Daniels.
Yeah, they got a lot of excitement on social media about this, man. But I just think that
Hmm.
people need to maybe temper their expectations when it comes to that. I mean, it's
Lord,
exciting, but I don't see it
yeah.
happening either, man. He's going to hear his name called very, very early in this draft.
Yeah, you're probably looking at and you got like the top five that's looking for a quarterback, so he might go to either one of them. He might
Yeah,
go to Washington. He
yeah,
might go to what you call it. So just calm yourself.
yeah. Calm down, simmer down. Now it's exciting. It's exciting that they
Take a
decided to do
chill
that.
pill.
But please relax on that. Um,
Hey,
yeah,
I love you all. I love you all who that nation, but calm yourself.
yeah,
Lower your expectations. Just relax. Just
yeah.
chill.
Yeah, please do. Please do that. But Jared, thank you so much, man. Looking forward to seeing what the rest of the combine is going to be. But I really do appreciate your call, man, and thank you for putting things into perspective, man. Appreciate it.
No problem, TJ. And look, I'm sorry you didn't get a chance to go to Indianapolis this year, but I'm glad you
Yeah,
had a good time last year.
yeah,
I know you have a lot of things. We understand the situation, so
yeah.
I just pray that all goes well with you and your son and your wife and everybody that you connect with. I ain't got nothing but love for you, my brother.
Man, I appreciate it, man, and thank you so much. And thank you for always supporting the show, man. Thank you.
You're welcome, TJ. You be blessed, brother.
You do the same. All right.
All
Yeah, you too. Yeah, shouts out to Jerry, man. Yeah, but I mean, we got to lower our expectations on that. That guy is he's a magical guy, like and when you put up a stat line like that and you play at a power conference school, and combine that with the Heisman Trophy, I mean that's kind of wishful thinking. If you're a New Orleans Saints, you probably gonna have to put together a Ricky Williams type package in order for you to pull that off. But I don't see that happening. But we're gonna move on. We're gonna go to Josh. Josh, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, brother? Long time no speak.
Yeah, I know, man. It's been a while since I opened up the phone lines, but I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you always being in the chat with your comments, and thank you for chiming in today. What you got for us, man?
Well, I'm just so glad we're in agreement about Derek Carr. That's the thing. No, I'm just kidding, man. Um, no, man, I have been really busy with schoolwork. But by the way, did you get my email?
Yeah, I got your email, man.
Okay,
Yeah,
that we'll save that for private. But I just want to make sure you got it.
yeah, I got it, man.
Um,
I appreciate that, man. And
but
yeah, but yeah, man, congratulations for everything that's going on, and everything that you have happening and for you, man. That's great.
yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a lot of work, but I'm glad to be a Hawkeye, and
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. Now, with regard to the New Orleans Saints, um, I just now heard, like, I just jumped in and saw you were opening phone lines. I'm like in between classes right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have a whole lot to say about Jay Daniels, but I wanted to say a little something about the new offensive coordinator. I'm forgetting his name, Clint Kubiak, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I've lost 190 pounds now.
Man, that's awesome, man. And congratulations to you, man. Keep up the good work.
You've got about 70 more to go. But
Man,
I'm
how small are you trying to be, man?
I want to get to 250. Once I'm at 250, I'm good.
Okay, all right. Well,
Yeah.
you got
I
that
have,
far to
believe it or
go.
not, I have no fat at 250 because it just got such a big, wide frame and bone structure.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm 250, most people are fat at 250. I've got like no fat at 250.
Man, that's awesome, man. Just keep up the good work, man. Keep on, living a healthy lifestyle. I know you changed a lot of things in your life to get to this point. So yeah, continue to work towards that, man.
Well, it's 3 years without any processed sugar whatsoever, man. Not a single cake, candy bar, nothing.
Man, that's incredible. A lot of people can't say that.
Well, I eat a lot of sugar, but I get it from fruit now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's a good.
Fruit and the
That's a good thing.
occasional honey.
Yeah. That's a
But
good thing, man. But I mean, you were going to talk about Clint Kubiak. What are your thoughts on him?
okay, so I am actually a little bit disappointed in that hire. And I'll tell you why. I don't know whether he's going to be good or bad or not.
Right.
But what I was thinking about was he's been under Shanahan this whole time.
Right.
So for all we know, this could be just Pete Carmichael 2.0 because we know Shanahan's calling all the offensive plays over there.
Right.
Um,
I mean, that's a fair assessment. That is a fair assessment.
In any other season, I would be like, okay, give him a shot, right? And I still,
Right.
hey, welcome to New Orleans, Clint. But this year, there were so many good coaches on the market who are already proven, like on their own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wasn't what's his name, Bieniemy available? Wasn't Ben Johnson available? Unless I'm getting it screwed up with something. There are a bunch of good OCs available that are already proven that we could have gone for, and then not have to take the risk with Clint Kubiak. So that, and like I said, I'm cool with him being here. I just thought that there were more proven options. You know what I'm saying?
I got you, and that's fair, Josh. But I know a lot of times when you have a coach that's like hands is in everything, it's kind of one of those situations where you don't know what you're going to get from the assistants because the coach is so involved. But when you look at Kyle Shanahan's coaching tree, I mean, you think about like some of the coaches that he's had on that coaching tree, because Josh, not only is he over the offense, he's over the defense too. Like he has a hand in both of those, right? So look at D'Amico Ryans. D'Amico Ryans comes from his coaching tree. They won a division. Robert Saleh, he's a pretty solid coach, even though they don't have a quarterback out there for the Jets. Mike McDaniel has the Miami Dolphins trending in the right direction. You got Matt LaFleur out there close to your neck of the woods with the Green Bay Packers. So there's some really good coaches that fell under his coaching tree that end up really being good. And not only are those guys being coaches, but they're calling their respective sides of the football. Robert Saleh is calling the defense. So is D'Amico Ryans out there in Houston. So it is a mixed bag. And I can understand your concern because I said the same thing. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but the only thing we can do is have a wait and see approach. But I mean, you got to be able to put it together. But I don't think it's one of those situations where, he's not going to look the part. I think that him sitting back and being a little bit of a student of Kyle Shanahan paid dividends because Kyle Shanahan has been coaching the same way. And you have a lot of these coaches out there probably better because they became students and they didn't have to be, kind of knee deep into it right away. So maybe that'll be beneficial to him.
Maybe, and I want to give him a chance. It's not like I'm saying this is a bad hire.
Right.
I'm just saying, man, if Eric Bieniemy was out there, why, But
I think they just wanted to go in a different direction, Josh. And I look, I'm not mad at that, right? I mean, look, you want to probably go for something that you've seen has worked, and Eric Bieniemy has done a really good job when he was with Kansas City. Their offense was really explosive. But I'm not inclined to a new set of eyes, a younger coaching staff, something that you can create. Because once upon a time, Josh, the Saints were terrible, and Sean Payton had to come in here and had to change our minds about how we looked at the Saints offense. So I'm willing to give him an opportunity, and I can understand the reluctancy. I really can, and it's a fair assessment. But I think we all should just have a wait and see approach. And Josh, if we're around week 6, week 7, we having this conversation, I think you pretty much got the answer to your question. But I'm willing to give him an opportunity because what I'm looking at the Saints doing, it looks like they're going to try to do some of the things that you've been talking about for years, which is putting more emphasis on the running game. Because, I mean, if you're following Kyle Shanahan.
Do you trust the new running coaches?
I do. I do. Number one, because they're not a part of the old regime. Sometimes you got to get those guys out of here because they feel like the way that they were brought up under Sean Payton, that's the only way that works because that's the only thing they have seen that has worked. So bringing in a new coaching staff with a different set of eyes, a different philosophy, might be beneficial. And it also can help some of these younger players out there that are probably learning, well, not probably, they're learning how to be pros. And if you have a bunch of coaches out there talking about when we won the Super Bowl back in 2009 and this, that, and the third. So you have a coaching staff that is willing to develop and learn guys, and maybe like 2 or 3 years down the line, we can have that explosive offense the Saints have been having for the last 15 years.
Hey, man, I wanted to say I agree. I agree with you for the most part, TJ.
Mm-hmm.
But before I forget, I wanted to say something. Did you see what I said to you on Twitter yesterday?
No, I didn't. I didn't see that.
You said that the running back is the most disrespected player in the league right now.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I did say
and
that.
I said to you, and I firmly believe it, you can thank Sean Payton for that. Sean Payton killed the running back in this league. He's the first guy to come along to view everybody as their main job as a receiver, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, not that nobody ever threw a pass to a running back before him,
right?
But Sean Payton essentially used his running backs as backfield receivers with the occasional handoff just to mix things up. And then everybody started copying Sean Payton's, and now most running backs are just backfield receivers. And that's why the running back position isn't no longer valued. Now, I do think that it's starting to make a comeback with guys like McCaffrey and Derrick Henry and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what killed the respect for like the running game as far as, money and contracts and all that. Because now teams look at running backs like, you're really just our number 5 or number 6 receiver. We ain't got to pay you.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? And Sean started that, man.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. But I think you've seen little nuances of it throughout the years. I mean, you got to look back a little bit further, Josh. You got to think about the St. Louis Rams when they were the greatest show on turf. I mean, when they had Marshall Faulk running in between the tackles, catching the ball out of the backfield. And then you got to think about LT LaDainian Tomlinson with the San Diego Chargers. They kind of changed the game up, too, with catching the ball out of the backfield, running in between the tackles. But I do agree with what you're saying because you got running backs that can do so many different things now. You're not teaching running backs like coming out of high school, to just run the football. Now they got to be like, versatile. And, growing up, if you was in high school, you probably had like that one big running back who probably was really good carrying the football but couldn't catch. And then you probably had another guy who was pretty good at catching. He was probably faster than a starting running back. So you just got to be you got to be able to be versatile in today's NFL. I think that you can add Sean Payton to that list. But, before Sean Payton was the head coach of the Saints, LT was doing it out there. Marshall Faulk was doing it. And I do think that it kind of, devalued the running back position. But, man, Christian McCaffrey is special. Derrick Henry is special. Like, those guys don't grow on trees. And, yeah, you can have a running back that can be able to pacify your offense. But, man, it takes a special running back to be able to do some of the things that they're doing. And if you can have a running back that can do so many different things, your offense can be extremely explosive. I mean, San Francisco, Tennessee throughout the year. So you just can't devalue that position, man. I mean, there's a lot of really good running backs out there. And I just think that if you just feel like you can just plug and play any running back into a scheme and it's going to work, I just think you're sadly mistaken. That's the difference between some of the greats and the average players out there.
I absolutely agree. The running game is nobody values it anymore.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? Unless you're a big superstar like Henry or Christian McCaffrey. By the way, isn't Derrick Henry available this year? If he is, do you think we should make a move for him?
I think the Saints should have a conversation, but I don't know about making a move. I just feel like you have bigger fish to fry, and I'm pretty excited, Josh, about what I saw from Kendre Miller late on in the season.
But not having a big back is a big weakness for us.
Well, I think Jamal Williams is a good running back. I just think that the way that the Saints utilized him wasn't the right way. And it's kind of I said this a couple episodes back, Josh. It's kind of hard for me to really look at this team after we had so many issues with Pete Carmichael's play calling. Like, I feel like that's kind of hypocritical of us, right? To have such a huge criticism of this offense when Pete Carmichael was calling plays and just say, oh, man, this player is terrible. This player is terrible. I would like to
I
see
agree.
it like under
Yeah,
a different
it
offensive
doesn't
scheme
matter
for us
how
to get.
good you are. If go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
If it doesn't matter how good your team is, if the opposing defense knows what you're going to do before you do it, you
Right.
cannot have success.
That's
I
true.
don't care if you're Patrick Mahomes.
Right. I agree. I mean, you gotta make these guys stand out. And the things that make them special, you gotta add it to the offensive playbook. And I just feel like Pete Carmichael did not put these guys in the best position to succeed. Thus the reason why he's no
Great.
longer the offensive coordinator. So I get it. Like I said, I understand how people may feel about what they saw, but we got to be careful at the narrative we created. We have to understand that the narrative that we created is, the fact that Pete Carmichael hasn't called the plays the right way over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So we can't just put these players on trial. We got to give them opportunity. Now, once again, Josh, if this is week 5, week 6, team looking the same way, running backs looking the same way under a new offensive coordinator, I think we pretty much answered our own question. But as of right now, I'm kind of reserving my judgment until we actually have this new coordinator in place, and maybe we can see some different plays, a different way to approach the game using those 3 running backs. If you add Taysom Hill, those 4 running backs that they have, man.
Yeah. No,
You
I
got
agree
anything
with
else?
that, man.
You got anything else, man?
I have one more quick one off of something you said.
Uh-huh.
It was something Pete Carmichael. We've got 7 bona fide stars on offense, and none of them played like stars. That's coaching,
Yeah, I agree.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what
I
I'm
agree
saying?
with that.
We got Derek Carr, we got Ramczyk, we got Kamara, we got Olave, and I'm missing a few others right now.
I mean, you got
Michael
Juwan
Thomas,
Johnson.
but he was gone.
Yeah. You
Juwan
got
Johnson, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why.
So I mean,
that's why I say That's why I say, Josh, like we gotta like reserve this judgment. Like it's kind of hard for me to just say that the Saints need certain things on offense. Now, I think we all can agree offensive line needs a little bit of an upgrade. But when it comes to these skill position guys, we see when they get the ball into their hand happen. But it's just a matter you have to be a little bit more creative. You can't just have this vanilla simplistic offense that everybody has seen 20 times over. You got to be able to reach in that bag. You got to be able to make this meal yours. You can't keep on cooking the same meal and using the same ingredients. Maybe you need to add a little bit of different of a seasoning where it can actually pop. And I just think that maybe this new coordinator and this new offensive staff can be that recipe. But we'll see, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you chiming in. Continue all the success, man. Congratulations being a Hawkeye, and knock them dead in your next class, man.
Hey, one more thing. Just so you know, that assignment that I was talking to you about, the one of them is due April 7th. So just like, you don't have to get back to me right away, but just could you get back to me soon?
Okay. All right. I can do that.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, man.
All right. No problem. All right. Yep. All right, man. Shouts out to Josh. Shouts out to him, man, out there doing this thing out there at the University of Iowa. And yeah, man, he came from a long way. Started off at Iowa State. Now he's going to grad school. So congratulations to him, man. We're going to go ahead and read some of the comments before we get to Dalton, aka Patrick Mahomes. I want to hear what he thinks about his most recent championship. But Willie says Rashid Shaheed. Linda says, these teams keep winning the Super Bowl without a Pro Bowl running back. Patriots, Rams, Kansas City. Yeah, I mean, you would say Isaiah Pacheco should have been in a Pro Bowl. I mean, he was pretty good this season. I look. There's always going to be exceptions to the rules, but the running back position, like every now and then, you get a running back that's extremely special, and you have to basically build your offense around them. Like, I think it would be smart for the Atlanta Falcons to build their offense around Bijan Robinson. And I think that it's smart for a team, if they were to get Saquon, to build their offense around him. I just think every now and then you have a special running back that comes in, and because of how special they are, you should build your team around them. And then, of course, you probably have those guys that are solid, probably not going to be the game changers, not going to be the household names. They're probably not going to be those guys. So the way I feel about it, I just think that there's levels to it. There's levels to it, and you know, it, you just can't replace really good. You really just can't replace really good running back play. I just don't. Like I just feel like you need really good running backs. But we're gonna go ahead and move on to Dalton. Dalton, how you doing, man?
What's up, TJ? How are you, bro?
Man, I'm doing all right, man. What you got for us today?
I mean, what was y'all talking about?
Basically, we're talking about Jayden Daniels meeting with the New Orleans Saints for a formal interview. But any questions or any comments that you have, man? I mean, the floor is yours.
Well, about Jayden Daniels, like, I know y'all like Jayden Daniels, though, but I'm sorry, he ain't falling to number 14. I think he'll be like a top 5 and top 10 pick, and plus,
Mm-hmm.
we'll probably get like either offensive line or edge rusher at 14.
Mm. I agree. Look, I think that it's just wishful thinking because of the magical season Jayden Daniels had and the need of quarterback. Like I'm looking at the big board right now. I'm going to go ahead and share it up on the screen, Dalton, like what I was actually looking at. But there's a list of some of these players. I mean, you think about let me go ahead and share that. This is like the top 10. Like Caleb Williams supposed to be the number 1 overall pick going to Chicago. Then they have Marvin Harrison. They got him being drafted right after. I mean, Drake May, you got Malik Neighbors. But if you look at like some of these other teams that, and what they and all the needs that they have, man, I mean, the Giants, like we don't know what they're going to do with Daniel Jones. It's going to be, man, it'll be a shock if this guy was to be there with the New Orleans Saints. They would actually have to really move some things around, really have to move and shake in order for them to get Jayden Daniels, which I don't feel like they're going to do it. So that's the way I feel.
And also, let's not forget, we just hired a offense coordinator named Clint Kubiak. I think that's a solid hire. I'm just not for sure if Jayden Daniels will be fitting Clint Kubiak's system, though.
Yeah, I agree. Like he makes plays from the pocket, but you also have to add the dynamics of his legs. So I don't know if that'll be a really good recipe. And anybody that follows the 49ers offense, we know that they like to run the football, but they like to throw those short intermediate passes and also set up the play action through really good, solid ground and pound running game. So I don't know if that actually fits into that category. Honestly, you will probably be looking at somebody that's similar to a Derek Carr type skill set that would actually run that offense. And I think that was a key part of why Clint Kubiak came here, because you can, use Derek Carr, but you're not asking Derek Carr to do a plethora of things, just kind of, some simplistic things that you've seen work towards the end of the season when the Saints won, 4 of their last 5? So that's probably why they hired him.
And I think I agree with you on that one. And also, like, I'm not hating on Derek Carr, but he just hasn't been the same since he broke his leg.
Look, I just think that the New Orleans Saints signing Derek Carr, I think that the New Orleans Saints had an idea or a thought about Derek Carr that wasn't very accurate. I think that the New Orleans Saints were looking for a low maintenance quarterback, right?
Right.
Because I mean this in no disrespectful way, but I just think that there's levels to coaching, Dalton. I feel like there's coaches that can win with virtually anything. Like you give them something, they'll make it work. And then you have coaches that can be good, but they need really good, solid players around them. Like they can't afford to have a guy that's a project. And I think they looked at Derek Carr as a guy that's, been in the league, seasoned veteran, very low maintenance. We really don't have to tell him much. He's going to know what to do. He's going to make the best decision, and when we need him to. And I think everybody just kind of found out that he can't lead a team. He can be a supporting cast member. He can put up some numbers. He can put the ball where it needs to be. But you need somebody cooking it up in that kitchen, man, coming up with them offensive plays to make him look credible. So that's where you're at, and hopefully Clint Kubiak can do that.
I hope so too. I think it's better upgrade than Pete Carmichael. I mean, I don't hate Pete Carmichael though, but I just think he was in the right job, and you can tell like I think he's doing it on purpose because he really didn't want the job. Like he just got forced into it. That's my opinion about it.
Yeah. I think that he felt the Saints needed him, and they really couldn't find anybody. This is from what I hear. They was having a hard time finding an offensive coordinator, and he decided to take on the job. Look. I think that Pete Carmichael knows offense, but I do think that there's people that are really good coaches that are really good play callers in real time, and then there's guys that are really good coordinators. Like they can come up with schemes. They can stay up all night, 2 a.m, watching film from other teams, high school, college, etc. And I feel like that's what Pete Carmichael falls. I think that if Pete Carmichael is in a room, like calling plays out, making things happen, making things move and shake in real time, and understanding the ebbs and flows of the game, I think it's too much of a mixed bag. So I just think that where he is right now with Denver as a consultant, I think that that's his role, and it should continue to be his role.
For you.
Dalton, you got anything else, man? I'm sorry, man. I got That's the thing, man. If you're in a if you're in the background, man, you can hear like other noise from other listeners as well. But you got anything else?
Well, quick question before I get off though. You think Ron Ramczyk will retire?
I think that the closer we get to the season, the less likely that will happen. But it's something to keep an eye on. Ryan Ramczyk has been having some issues, and it is some things that he may need to consider because Ryan Ramczyk, pretty young guy, but man, you live a longer life and you play. You live much longer than you play football. So everything that I'm hearing as of right now is not an issue, but I don't know. We'll see. But I just think that the injury that he has, it doesn't get better. It's just not. Like he'll probably feel better at the beginning of the season, but as time goes on, he'll probably re-aggravate it, still be dealing with it, and probably be dealing with it for the rest of his career. So it's something to keep an eye on, but I don't think he'll retire this year. It'll be shocking if he does.
I'm just worried about his knee. That's why I feel like we might get offensive line like in the first round, depends who's available, or get edge rusher. Though that's what I hope he don't retire though. But like I'm just worried about his knee. It's concerned.
Yeah. I'm concerned about it too, but I'm more concerned about his overall health and him being able to walk around with his kids and his wife, once he retires. Like football is just a moment in time, and we want to see these guys on the field. We want to see these guys put forth their best effort. When you have a player like Ryan Ramczyk, who has been pretty steady as a right tackle since he was drafted back in 2017, like all these things, like you want him to have that level of success, but I want him to have success after football too, and be able to, be around his kids and be able to not be dealing with issues where he can't run around with his kids. That would stink. So if he feel like he can play and the doctors are telling him that he can, that's fine. But I'm more concerned about Ryan Ramczyk, the person, than the player, at this point.
Same here.
Yeah.
Well, Patrick Mahomes will get off though. I still can't believe MVS got cut. It's so crazy. He scored a Super Bowl touchdown. We got they keeping Kadarius Toney, who I think is a bust though. I think they cut him though, but we need receivers really bad though. I hope we get Mike Evans though. I don't know if he'll go to the Chiefs. I'm worried he might stay with the Buccaneers though, which I have respect for him though. But I'm gonna I know people are waiting though. So see you next time.
All right, man.
I know I'm kind of late though. Price for Drake Greenlaw, hey, he got hurt on that Super Bowl, and that Super Bowl wasn't very good.
Yeah, it got better towards the end. It definitely wasn't the best Super Bowl of all time, but it got exciting towards the end. But yeah, it sucked about Drake Greenlaw, man. What a way to go out. And I think that if he would have stayed in the game, who knows that well, I don't know. Who knows? It would have made a difference between him and Fred Warner. They're two of the best linebackers in football. And, it's sad that it happened to Greenlaw, but hopefully he'll have a speedy recovery.
Me too. Thank you so much for getting on the show, TJ. Love being on the show with you.
Thank you so much, Dalton. Call back anytime, man.
All right, thank you.
All right, man. Shouts out to Dalton there, man. Dalton on the line. We joke around for those that are new. We joke around with Dalton because Dalton just sounds exactly like Patrick Mahomes, and so that's the that's the reason why I refer to him, as Patrick. I mean, you wouldn't even tell the difference. Like if he called somebody and said, "Hey, this is Patrick Mahomes," I don't think anybody would not believe that he is. But shouts out to Dalton, man. Knows football, loves football, and thank him for chiming in. Before we get to no cap, let me read a few of these comments. Pelican Nola says, "TJ, that sounds like Patrick Mahomes on the phone with you." That was the whole little rib there, Pelicans. Let's see, Pelicans Nola, that's Dalton. Chiefs with Mike Evans and Justin Jefferson would be insane. Man, that's a lot of money being thrown around there. Like if Mike Evans wants to continue, I guess, to like win Super Bowls and stuff, you probably want to take a pay cut, maybe move on. I mean, he's already won his Super Bowl, so he can pretty much go out there and make as much money as possible. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure that he wants to continue to keep that stat line, having the most 1,000-yard seasons, and every year he's been in the league, which is incredible. Like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or not, Mike Evans is an amazing wide receiver. For him to be able to put up 1,000 yards every season like that, he's been consistent. That's one thing that you can't say about him. So maybe he's reached a point where he's got his Super Bowl, he's gotten his money. Maybe he wants to go somewhere where he can make as much money as he possibly can before he decides to hang it up. So we'll see. But we're going to go no cap. No cap, how you doing, man? No cap, are you there?
Oh, I'm good. You had me muted. I had to unmute myself.
Yeah. The thing about it is, like, on this new platform, like behind the scenes, like I can actually like hear everything for people that's in the waiting. So I guess when you're driving, I can just hear that wind in the background. But yeah, man. So how you doing, man? What you got for us?
Yeah, man, I'm good, man. How you doing, man? I need you on the show soon, TJ, man, so I can go ahead on and give you like a little interview, man. Get your take on the Saints and get your story or whatever, man. I just don't know a way to contact you.
Oh man, well, I don't know. Are you on Twitter?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can message me. You can message me on Twitter, and we can set up a time. I seen when you said that, just want to set up a time in which we can do it. I don't mind doing it. Are you still there? I think we lost no cap, no filter. I'll go ahead and put him in. I'll go ahead and put him in the waiting room. No cap, just call back, man. Hit me up and just let me know. Let me know that you're back. I'm pretty sure I can still hear you, but just I guess dial out and dial back in. I think we'll get you. This draft deep at tackle can get a legit start at 45 if they don't take one in the first. Yeah, I mean it's pretty deep, but I mean you want to address this position right now. You don't want to lollygag and pussyfoot around with no offensive lineman, man. That's the reason why you're in a situation right now. So if you can get yourself a really good, solid offensive lineman, and I know how people feel about it. It's not the sexiest position in the world. It's not a position that have everybody getting up out their seat, because he didn't catch a one-hand snag or he didn't throw a 60-yard bomb or he didn't juke a guy out his shoes. But without those guys, you wouldn't see any of that stuff. You wouldn't see the amazing catches. You would not see the amazing runs. So you need really good offensive line play. You need that. So you want to make sure that you actually have that. And it's been an ongoing thing now. It's time to address this position. It is time for the New Orleans Saints to get that left tackle, man. I mean, you tried to get it with Trevor Penning. The only thing, unless like this guy has just turned over a new leaf and became a brand new player, like right now you're affecting his confidence. So putting him out there, him thinking like, oh, I got a full off season, and he goes out there and get beat like a Persian rug again, it might affect his confidence. So they may want to question putting him on at the left tackle position, and maybe sliding him on the inside, since I don't see the Saints re-signing Andrews Pete. But we got no cap back. No cap. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you now. Yeah, but to answer your question, like just let me know. We can come up with a time, and we can go ahead and make that happen, man.
Yeah, I have Twitter, but I'm not verified, so I can't DM you or nothing or anything. But I'll see.
Okay. Oh, okay. So are you on you're on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me make sure. Well, after we get off here, if you can like send me a tweet, now I follow you, so you send me a message, and we
All right,
can kind
fine.
of we can work out a time, and where we can actually make that happen.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. But uh, I'm just getting into the show. I see you, the title start talking about Jayden Daniels. I'm not getting excited for that. They're gonna work him out, but I'm not, falling for the cheese or whatever. But
Right.
that'll be a dream if we can get him. That way, we got Carr. We'll have him sitting in the wings, and hopefully Carr he'll move on, and we just got to get Dennis Allen up out of here. Me
Yeah.
personally, I'm one of the fans who want Dennis Allen gone regardless. Like that's just me. Like we might got two different directions to success. It's just my direction might be different than most others.
Right.
That's just me. Because I
Mm.
feel like we're not going to win anything of significance as long as Dennis Allen is the head man and as
Mm.
long as Derek Carr is the trigger man. Yeah, we got Clint Kubiak, but I kept saying on Twitter that he's just going to be the rims on a minivan. He's going to be the sausage, shrimp, and egg and ramen noodles, and he's going to be the hot sauce on sardines. Is it better? Yes, but it's still a minivan, it's still sardines, and it's still ramen noodles. But I am excited. I am excited for Clint Kubiak because that is a step in the right direction. Like we wiped the whole offensive staff clean. So if we're wiping the whole offensive staff clean, that is a step in the right direction. But I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do around Dennis Allen and Derek Carr. It's just going to be a little bit better. I think our ceiling is going to be Baker Mayfield with the Buccaneers. Yeah, we might win a division, but this is the worst division. And yes, Dennis Allen was like voted as a good play caller on defense, but Baker Mayfield was the only full season starter that hasn't been benched and lost his starting job. All been a rookie that we beat all season. Like we
Mm.
really came away really lucky that season, and I don't see that same luck repeating itself with that schedule and us having the ability to stay healthy through 10 weeks and just catching a lot of breaks that we caught, and we still couldn't win the division. We went all in, and the Buccaneers still won, and they kind of like clean their cap. And speaking of the cap, I'm not gonna say it's fake, but man, we could do whatever we want with that cap. We're gonna be able to get under every single year. People are gonna make the narration that we're in cap hell, but at the end of the day, we're gonna do what we gotta do to still play a season and still go after people who we want.
Right.
We just went after Deshaun Watson, and we was like in cap hell then. So how we had enough money to go after Deshaun Watson? We were already in cap hell, and he was like the prize of the whole free agency. Come on, man, they just need to knock it off.
Yeah. This is the way I feel about it. The reality is the Saints organization does not look at Dennis Allen or Derek Carr the way that we do. They just don't. Like, look, listening to Mickey Loomis, he has this, to me, like he has this idea about what Dennis Allen is. And he feels like the reason why Dennis Allen hasn't lived up to the expectations as a coach is because of all the things that are around him. Now, we can make an argument that's not the case. We can make an argument to say that maybe Mickey Loomis is doing this because he's trying to save face. But all in all, they don't have that idea or that particular perspective of these guys not being good enough. And as long as they have this mind frame, we're going to continue to be dealing with the same situations. Do I have confidence in Dennis Allen as a head coach to be able to lead the Saints anywhere? I do not. But here's where I feel like this is the way that I feel about when it comes to this season. I love the New Orleans Saints, and I want to see the New Orleans Saints succeed, regardless of who the coach is, regardless of who the quarterback is. I want to see them succeed. And I'm not trying to cut off my hand despite my face here. Like, I want to see this team win. And whatever they got to do in order to make that happen, I'm about it. Do I feel like they are basically putting a Band-Aid on this? Absolutely. Because here's the thing, no cap. If Clint Kubiak goes out here and has a remarkable season and the offense is looking like red hot, what do you think is going to happen to him? He's going to get a head coaching job. and then you'll find yourself being right back in the same position that you was in the first place. So it's like the old saying that I say, putting cologne on a musty body here. Like eventually, like you can cover this up, but it's only a matter of time before you see the imperfections of this team yet again. So to me, like they're going to have to continue to hire the way that they do. If Clint Kubiak works out, they're going to have to continue to keep doing the same things because like we know now what Dennis Allen is, and you can't fake that. And we know what Derek Carr is, and you can't fake that either. So right now you can try to masquerade, like and make it seem like this is going to help, and it probably will. But if this guy ends up being successful as a coordinator, he's going to go somewhere else, and then what you're going to do? That's my question.
Yeah, I agree. But if he do turn out to be success, who's to say Dennis Allen won't take a step back when it comes to the defense? Because we still have no pass rush. We still have players that might likely to leave this team, like Marshawn Lattimore and
Come
other
join
players.
a
Even on the
different kind
offensive
of
side.
conversation,
So it's
one
like,
that welcomes
what's
every
that?
perspective in a search for the underlying truth.
What's that? You heard that?
Yeah, I heard
Oh, but
it.
what's that?
Hey man, hey, that's the audio from the a little edit that I did at the radio station. But my bad, man. Go ahead.
I don't know what the hell I'm thinking like that. TJ doing a commercial on me, but
Nah.
yeah, man. If they do hire within, and Clint Kubiak could be that next head coach. If he doesn't go elsewhere, if Dennis Allen take a step back on the defense, I'll be fine with that. But he'll have to show head coaching skills. He can't just be good on offense because we see that Dennis Allen, he can be good on defense. And certain people feel like Dennis Allen is kind of overrated as a defensive coordinator. But that's another story. But when it comes to the head coaching job, I think it's more than, oh, well, Clint Kubiak could take care of the offense and Dennis Allen just got to worry about the defense. No, it's much more than that when it comes to being a leader of men and a head coach of the team. You got to worry about everything across the board and in real time and when it comes to personnel throughout the week and training and all of these things,
Absolutely.
taking care of different players.
Yep.
Because if it was just him just having to worry about the defense, it's a position for that. It's called defensive coordinator. And I just think that is his calling. Not everybody could be the master chef. Some people just got to be a line cook. And Dennis Allen is a good line cook when it comes to just having to worry about a certain preparation.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the team, I am excited to see what nuances can be brought to the offense because we have a lot of good playmakers. I think we could probably be somewhat better and more compared to the Dolphins than the 49ers because the 49ers, they have a mentality there. Like they
Mhm.
have that rough rider. I'm going to beat you. You better bring your hard head. We're going to get real physical up in this phone booth mentality. And I don't think we just wired like that. And Alvin Kamara, man, this dude is not washed. I don't know why people are saying that. That dude was on the 49ers. He would be looking just like Christian McCaffrey. I just think Christian McCaffrey a little bit faster than him, but I think Alvin Kamara has more balance. But I just really hope that this doesn't be the year where he does take a decline or a step back because of the age and Taysom Hill and people like Demario Davis and Tyrann Mathieu and all these guys. I just hope that this doesn't be the year where, okay, it just so happened this the year where they take a step back. Soon as Clint Kubiak get up in here and tries to fix the offense that was just stale on Pete Carmichael's behalf because players on defense knew the play before it even happened. Half the battle is the play before it even happened. That's when they have the battle. Because that's how the 49er scheme was just so good because you didn't know what was about to come. They was doing play action without kind of doing play action.
Yeah. Look, I think that the Saints should learn from their mistakes, no cap. Here's the thing. Like, you spent all those years, trying to win with Drew Brees and not really think about the future of trying to find an heir apparent to Drew Brees, right? Rather that person was sitting on the bench or not. You don't want to make this same mistake. Like, go out here and try to find that replacement for Cam Jordan, even though you may believe that Cam Jordan can play better. Go and find that replacement for Demario Davis. May need to sit on the bench or whatever, but at least you'll have them. At least they'll be in the system. At least they'll be sitting on the bench. At least they'll be alongside somebody that can actually teach them and that is a true leader. And I just think that sometimes what the New Orleans Saints do, they just kind of rest on their laurels here. Like they just basically just kind of sit on the side. Oh yeah, we got Cam, we got DeMario. But I just think that you need to learn, like, this is the reason why you took steps back when Drew Brees retired, because you waited too long to actually find somebody, and you're still trying to find somebody. So learn from these mistakes, understand that the league is changing, understand that, you need to do certain things in order for your team to continue to prosper. So hopefully in this draft, I mean, they got a few draft picks, and this is a deep draft when it comes to certain positions. Hopefully they'll address some of these positions, even if it's with players that are not going to be day one starters, but they can be in the system, and maybe around year 2 or year 3, they can develop into what you need them to be because they got under the right leaders. So that's where the Saints' focus needs to be, in my opinion. It's not hoping that DeMario pans out and has another season despite his age, and the same thing with Cam Jordan. Like, let's focus on what you need to do now in order for us to continue to build and find the right players that can help this team get to. You got anything else, man?
Yeah, before I let you go, man, like I say, man, I think the most detrimental thing is to have a quote unquote winning season and go 9-8 and feel like we are, making progress with double back-to-back winning seasons, quote unquote, with Dennis Allen and give him an extension. I think that could be the worst detrimental thing that could ever happen to this team as of now. And I feel like as far as the draft, we have really no wrong way to go unless we just pick some no-name dude who got medical history issues. As long as we get a big name in that first round, I think there's no wrong way we could go. We could go pass rush, we could go O-line help, we could go Brock Bowers. There's no wrong way. I think anybody we pick, I think fans should be happy as long as he's a big name guy who's productive. But
Yeah.
I got TJ.
I agree. You can't afford to go out here and try to find guys that are going to be projects because you don't have this coaching staff that can do that. Like, it used to be like some of these guys that need development because, I mean, you had Sean Payton. I mean, he can make some things work. But with Dennis Allen, I said it earlier, he's one of those coaches that need strong players, proven players around him in order for him to look better. So it includes the coaching staff. He needs a well-oiled machine around him. Like, he's not the developmental coach, in my opinion. He's more of a guy like, okay, I got some really good players, and I think I can put them in a position to succeed. So yeah, they got to go with some of these Power 5 conference school guys, and if you want to kind of mess with maybe one of those mid-major guys in the later rounds, then I ain't gonna be mad at you. But right now, we need to hear Fuaga out of Oregon State. We need to hear Joe Alt out of Notre Dame. We need to hear Jared Verse out of Florida State, a name that we recognize that a rec shop, and we know that is a beast. That's what the Saints fans need to hear at number 14, or if you decide to move up. I mean, I'm not trying to hear about, such and such from Wichita State, and Wikipedia don't even know who they are. Like, I'm good on that, right? We can't afford to do that right now. Need some proven products right now.
Hey, everything you need to know about your head coach, man, because man, all that to go for you, that says a lot about what type of head coach you is. To me, him and Derek Carr are just backstabbing dudes that are going to point the finger to everybody and anything else instead of pointing the finger to themselves and take accountability. And they try to come off as nice guys and say the right things at the right time, giving a political correct answer. But we all know the league know who he is. Amy Trash already said who he is. They just got good friendships with certain people, and they getting these jobs and these starting jobs because of certain people. It ain't about
Yeah.
who you. What you know is who you know.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But no cap, I got to go ahead and go, man. But thank you so much, and you take it easy, man.
All right, thanks, TJ.
All right, thank you. All right, but that's the last call that we're going to take today, man. Thank y'all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com, search The State of the Saints podcast. Facebook.com, search The State of the Saints podcast. Previous episodes are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Anchor FM. Shouts out to everybody that commented, and want to give a special shout out to Barbara says the Saints just talking to Daniels to make us fans feel better when they know they have no intentions on drafting him. He got the wrong look for Allen. Yeah, I mean, I'm over that. Like, we already know what the deal is. Pete, they know fans are not happy with this team. They know they're not happy with the coach. So they're trying to do little things to try to put the fans back into their good graces. But you're going to have to earn it. You know, you're going to have to earn it. It's going to be much more than just talking to Jayden Daniels or drafting LSU guys. But thank you all so much. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. There's all dog around this mug. I'm good.